how we move our feet during our golf swings is crucial to our success, as bad footwork is going to create loss of distance, loss of accuracy, poor consistency, everything that we don't want. So in this video, let's take a look at some of the killer footwork errors that golfers will make that prevents them from ever improving, lowering their scores, hitting the ball farther. It's all here in this video, so don't go away. Hey, this is Steve with HitItLonger.com. Of course, I'm on a journey to hit it longer and straighter off the tee, but also longer and straighter all the way to the green, because hitting it pure through the whole 18 holes is just the best way to have fun, in my opinion. So if you're of like opinion, you want to just hit it a little longer, straighter, hit the sweet spot more often, then by all means, join us. Hit the subscribe button, like, and comment. And don't forget to check out my site, HitItLonger.com, where you're going to get over 100 free videos and articles that I think are all going to help you hit it longer and straighter and lower your scores. Now, while you will see some subtle variation in footwork among good players, like players on the PGA Tour, there are some really, really bad errors that will absolutely kill your chances of success in becoming a good golfer, and let's get into them. All right, the first big footwork error that's an absolute killer happens more among high handicappers, and that is allowing the weight to roll to the outside of the right foot during the backswing. So it would look something like this. As you take the club back and shift your weight, you allow the foot to roll to the outside this way. And this is a real killer because it's just about impossible to recover from. Chances are you're going to get stuck on that back foot and hit the ball something like that and kind of skull it or pull it or top it, chunk it. But it's really hard to recover from the foot rolling to the outside. So instead, what you're looking to do as you shift your weight over to the right during the backswing, you're going to have a little bit of a thigh twist to resist to the inside. So if I resist to the inside like this, see, I'm just not allowing, making a full shift, you can see, but I'm just not allowing the weight to get outside the middle of my foot. I'm trying to resist inwards, and I'm doing that by kind of bracing the thigh, and it's actually a little bit of a quarter twist inwards if I wasn't touching the ground that kind of helps you resist inwards with the thigh, and that helps keep the weight on the inside. So if you have an issue with rolling the foot to the outside, then that's the place you're going to control it. All right, a second killer error comes with more mid-range handicap golfers, and that is when the heel of the back foot rotates counterclockwise around the big toe this way as they go through the ball. And the problem with this will be it's going to prevent you from making a full weight shift to the left foot and setting up the proper secondary tilt as you go through impact, but instead it's going to tend to make the left hip not advance laterally but simply turn straight into the wall like inside a barrel, and it's going to send the right shoulder and hip high and over the top. It's going to give you, for a mid-range handicap golfer, even down to a low handicap golfer, it's going to tend to give you smother hooks, a lot of spin off the driver, some kind of pull slices, that kind of thing. But generally, smother hooks will be the biggest order of the day for someone who goes like this. Instead, you would rather allow the heel to get slightly more targetward than the big toe this way. So I'm actually going to rotate my foot in a slight clockwise direction instead of in a counterclockwise direction like that. Now let me show you from the down the line angle what might happen to my hips and shoulders if my heel went counterclockwise. Something like this. Now, of course, I'm doing it in a very large way, but you could be doing this more subtly. As you can see, it'd be easy for me to kind of pull hook it over to the left, what I call a smother hook, if your foot was moving like this. All right, let's finish up the errors of the rear foot, the trail foot, with the one where we have a lot of plantar flexion. Show you from this angle. So here's plantar flexion, or coming out way up on the toe, and I'm flexing my knee like this. And so that's kind of throwing this action kind of throws the thigh and the foot towards the ball this way. Now the problem with moving this way too much in the downswing, and of course we do want to get the heel airborne, but when it goes straight up like this and there's no inwards roll of the foot, that is going to create, it's going to give you a really hard time not only not being able to get laterally enough, but not being able to rotate very well. So very easy to get the chest and the hips kind of stuck in a closed position like this. And it also, what comes with that big plantar flexion is often the early extension this way. So here I am shifting my weight to right center field, and you notice the foot and the thigh is really getting out towards the ball, and that's really creating this early extension, which is going to give us all kinds of power and accuracy issue. So in the trail foot, what I advocate and recommend that you do is we're looking for 2 or 3 parts in roll this way to 1 part heel lift this way, with the heel getting slightly in front of the big toe. This will allow you to not only get laterally to the left foot, but keep the rump back and get the chest around the corner. So everything you want to do in your downswing with your body can really be controlled by the action of this trail foot. All right, let's move on to a couple of errors in the lead foot. The first one being similar to what happens with the last error we talked about in the big plantar flexion. But when you're stepping down into your instep instead of into your heel, so I'll show you from this angle again. If I step down into my instep, often goes together with that third error, it's often going to lead to that early extension or the standing up. So if you're hitting balls and you start putting your awareness down in your front foot and you figure out that you are stepping into your instep instead of into the outside of the heel this way, but you're going this way, notice my heel's actually off the ground in this foot and I'm completely on the ball of my foot on the left foot. It's going to have a big effect on your club head speed because you can't hit as hard when you're not braced in the heel. Bracing yourself on the outside of the heel allows you to turn better, so rotate better, get more club head speed because you're simply braced, balanced for a bigger hit. All right, so let's use this chair as our wall or our rear end reference point. You'll see that it's very common if I were to go back, and let's say I'm in good shape here, but I'm going to move into the instep. You see, just that act alone really pulls my butt off the wall and kind of makes me end up in a stood up position from where I started. Tall handle, bad angles, no turn stalls. So just the act of stepping into the instep of the left foot can really have a cascading effect on the rest of the swing in a negative way. So instead of stepping into the instep, we'd really like to step down into the heel of the left foot, or the front foot, and get to the outside of it this way. So you actually will see the inside of my foot roll up just a bit, and you'll actually see that my toe is off the ground like this as I go through the ball. And that's kind of way where pretty much all good players plant their weight at the start of the downswing. That's where we want to be, not in the instep. All right, the last error is more, it's lesser known, it's not done as much, but it's more focused on low handicappers with really high club head speed. And that's this one. A lot of really athletic, people often have a history of baseball in their past. When they step over onto the left foot, they'll really roll this ankle up this way. So I've put up here in the corner of the screen a picture of Jordan Spieth's footwork, a little bit of Justin Thomas in there too, but if we get rolling too much this way, like this, see what tends to happen, especially under this amount of force and momentum with the ankle rolling to the outside like this. Well, first of all, it's not going to give us as solid of a platform or a base to hit against, because you're a little bit precarious in your balance when you're way on the outside of the ankle like this. But what's worse is you see these ligaments on the outside of the ankle. See, tendons will stretch and they'll come back, and muscles will stretch and they'll come back, but ligaments over time, when you really bust this ankle into this position hard, hitting the ball really strong, over time your ligaments may stretch out, and ligaments don't stretch back. So you may lose some of the stability in this ankle over time, and it may not ever be the same again. All right, so let me hit a few shots and we'll really take a closer look at the footwork, what I think is solid footwork, and we'll look at some different angles and some close-ups and some slow motions, and hopefully you'll be able to kind of absorb and see what good footwork looks like, and you can emulate it at home. So just remember, the way your feet move is absolutely crucial to your success as a golfer, hitting it long and straight, because of the way the feet interact with the ground helps create the positioning of the body. It's responsible for almost everything. So the force that you put down into the ground comes all the way back up and helps us turn. It helps us shift weight, but it also helps position the body in whatever position is going to help us hit the ball the longest and the straightest. So making any one of these errors that I've talked about really going to put a crimp on your ability to get better. So definitely work on footwork this coming season, and you don't have to make full swings to do it. You can just hit, chips and pitches, and you can work on good footwork like this. And you can, that way you slow it down a bit, you can kind of concentrate a little bit more on how your feet are moving, and you can fix whatever issue that you're having with your footwork and get out of some of these big errors that I've described in this video. Hey, thanks for watching. Thanks to Golf Development Complex in Moorpark, California for hosting us today. And as always, I'll either see you in the next video or I'll see you longer and straighter down the fairway. Take good care.